Dappled willows, like this one here behind me, are quickly becoming one of my favorite plants. They have these cool pink leaves that have a little bit of white and green mixed into them. In the winter, they've got these bright red stalks, and then on top of that, they grow really quickly, so you can make a big hedge or you can make a tree out of them in a pretty short amount of time. And then finally, another thing that's great about them is that they are super easy to propagate and make more plants from. Like this one I have here. I've been making a whole bunch of these, and I'm going to show you how I've been doing it. So to propagate these, they're really simple. Just take a cutting, can really be pretty much any thickness. I tend to like to get ones that are probably about close to pencil thick, but the smaller ones do really well too. So I take my cuttings usually about a foot long or so. I don't even really pay attention to where I cut them off. These things root so easily. Cut them about like that, and then I put them in a container with water in it. Usually probably about 4 or 5 inches tall of water. And then as long as you put them somewhere that's probably between 60 and 80 degrees and just let it sit there for a few weeks, they're going to have roots on them before you know it. And I forgot to mention, put these somewhere out of direct sun. If you're putting them in on a sunny day, 70, 80 degrees, they're going to get dried out too much and they might die before they get roots. So put them somewhere a little bit shady if you're leaving them outside, or I put them in the house before. It's a good temperature for them. Just don't let them get cooked too much. So these are some ones that I've had for a few weeks in my greenhouse, in kind of a shadier spot in my greenhouse. And you can see after a few weeks, if you took them at a time when they had leaves on them, the leaves might shrivel up a little bit. You can take them any time of the year, probably preferably when they don't have leaves on them, and the winter's a better time to take them. But the neat thing about these is you can propagate them any time, I've found. And so on these ones, what you'll see is there's roots. Not a ton of them yet, but there are some roots on there. I like to wait till they get kind of these finer roots. I don't know if you can see them on some of these there, but see how those have a little bit finer roots? I like to make sure they have a little bit more like that, so they have a better chance before I put them in a pot with potting soil or dirt. If you put them in there too early, they might not have enough root to soak up enough water, but also don't want to leave them in I also want to leave them in there too long either. But I mean, once they get some roots, go ahead and you got so many, you can just try putting them in a pot and see what works for you. But like this one doesn't have any roots yet, so I want to pot that one up yet. But you find one that has roots. There you go. That one might do okay, but I'd probably wait till I had a few more on it. I'm not potting any of these ones up yet, but maybe in a week or two. And then you just put them in a pot with potting soil, like anything else. And in a few years, you'll have a pretty good sized plant. Here's one that I've had in a pot for probably a year or two. And you can see it's really taken off. Here's some smaller ones that I've had in the pots for less than a year, but they've probably got a pretty good root system by now, and I could probably put them in a bigger pot. So that's all there is to it. Just cut a few sticks, put them in some water, make sure it's at sort of around room temperature, and just let them sit there, and they'll have roots before you know it. And before you know it, you'll have a bunch of cool dappled willows like this one.